5 thoughts Beyoncé might have had while floating in the air, stuck in a car, at her Houston concert. Opinion: at her Houston show on Saturday, a technical mishap resulted in Beyoncé being temporarily stuck in the air in a car. I'm sure she had some thoughts. Editor's note: the following article is an op-ed, and the views expressed are the author's own. Read more opinions on the griot. If you've been keeping up with Beyoncé's Cowboy Carter tour, of course you have probably seen videos on social media, or from friends who have pulled up at a tour stop, of Beyoncé floating over the crowd during the song 16 Carriages. She does this as a video montage of her career plays on jumbo screens, reminding all who watch that there is only one Beyoncé. Because she's so classy, she does this in a velvet-wrapped red Cadillac. Well, during the first night of her hometown stop in Houston, things didn't go exactly as planned. During her drive over the crowd, there was a technical mishap that resulted in the car slightly tipping to the side, shouts out to Paul Wall, while suspended in midair before being stopped over concertgoers who were probably concerned about the safety of Beyoncé and hoping not to be crushed by a velvet-wrapped Cadillac, and not necessarily in that order. Beyoncé must have been terrified. Thankfully, Beyoncé was safely lowered and removed from the vehicle, and she then continued her show. She then also had a Sunday show before heading to the Washington, D.C. area for 2 shows. I can't imagine what it was like for her to be suspended in the air in a vehicle that felt like it might turn over. I don't even like it when people bend corners too quickly on streets that are empty. She's a professional, so she kept it moving, but I kind of wonder what she was thinking while that was happening, you know. I have a few thoughts, non-confirmed by Beyoncé or her camp from Parkwood Entertainment, so don't quote me literally. But here are 5 things she might have been thinking while suspended in the air. Look, I ain't saying that the first thing Beyoncé does is curse when something goes wrong, but it's usually the first thing that most people do when things hit the fan. A car stalling mid-air and then starting to tip? Yeah, that would be the proverbial thing hitting the fan. I'm just saying, she might not have said it, but I'll get she was thinking it. But again, never one to let you see her sweat. Bey's fans would never know because she was cool, calm, and collected. Rihanna was up in the air pregnant at the Super Bowl and that went off without a hitch, but no, I'm stuck in the air in a car. At least it's a Cadillac. If you remember Rihanna's 2023 Super Bowl performance, she ended the show being elevated on a platform while pregnant. I'm sure A$AP Rocky wasn't the only one who couldn't wait for that platform to come down. Well, Beyoncé probably had her whole family feeling the same way. Stage manager Blue Ivy, Ms. Rumi, Sir, Mama Tina, and more. Which leads to Jay is going to say, I told you so. I've been to see Jay-Z perform a few times, and while I've always enjoyed his shows, and I'm talking about back into the 1990s, I saw that man perform at DC Live in 1998 with a meal on stage. He's never been quite as adventurous as his wife gets for performances. To be fair, hip-hop shows, save for Kanye, rarely get to the level of performance of pop star shows, but still. Anyway, I'll bet at some point Jay-Z was like, I don't think you should do the drive over the crowd thing anymore, that thing could get stuck. HOV. I've been a fan of Jay-Z for over 20 years now. I feel like I know his petty, and this feels like a joke he would have made before this, but won't anymore because happy wife, you know the rest. Cirque du Soleil made this look so simple. If you've been to a Cirque show, then you've seen people floating and flying all over the place. In the age of the internet where we are exposed to great feats every second with the swipe of our finger, sometimes the difficulty of what people are pulling off can lose its context. The exceptional can start to seem regular. Maybe Queen Bee just felt like flying through the air was a given for her show, especially after flying on that shiny horse during the Renaissance tour, and the people behind the scenes weren't real about their own limitations. But let's be real, if anybody could take Cirque du Soleil gymnastics and level it up to include a car, it's hometown's finest. Everybody else needs to rise to the occasion. Look, we all know that Beyoncé is nothing if not a perfectionist. It's in her Virgo shando. And if I got stuck up in the sky, even if it wasn't somebody's fault per se, my first thought would be, when I get down, somebody is sure enough getting their walking papers.